All right, we'll start, though, with NVIDIA, of course, given it's due out after the bell. And we got a number of other earnings after the bell as well, Jim, that are not insignificant, including Salesforce.
No, tonight is huge.
Give me your thoughts as we head in here. NVIDIA shares, you can kind of see what they've been doing over the last month. A nice move and sort of hanging right in there at that same level, let's call it, for the last few trading sessions.
Well, I think there's a couple pieces out today. I'll just put the whole thing in. The rubric is that the smart guys are selling and retail's buying. That is the kind of thing I keep reading. Why I'm disturbed by that is that the smart guys have been selling the whole way. What have they accomplished? Retail is the one that owns it. Now, there may be these zero option people come in, they buy today, hope to win. But I think that we're at a moment where Ben Reitzes from Melius has the best cheat sheet, not unlike what you might do in fantasy football where you see like it's McCaffrey at the top. $2 billion a month beat this quarter must happen. $2 billion forecast raise must happen. And then a broader long-term arc of what's going on, including an upbeat Jensen Wong in the conference call.
So you need all of that.
Check. The triple Lindy, not unlike what we saw from Rodney Dangerfield in Back to School.
In Back to School.
Which Sam Kinison was.
We also, I noticed any number of pieces this morning, of course, going over all things related to NVIDIA.
Right.
How the markets reacted, certainly one key thing. I think we may have that in the May report. NVIDIA was up 9.3%, even though, interestingly, the broader market didn't really move. The S&P was actually down, and the Nasdaq was down that day.
No, all we ever hear about is it's time to buy the Russell. But
I know.
Look at this horse. Stiefel, by the way, has the list of the correlations, too. We can get... What happened?
Oh, nothing.
Oh, Stiefel has the correlations.
Yeah, and then I was looking also on the February report. NVIDIA was up 16.4%. That was, of course, the blockbuster when many things changed. And the broader market was up a lot. The NDX was up 3%. I thought we had that, but I guess...
No, but look, I mean, this is the underperformer that's not underperforming, so to speak. I think that it has moved up. It's the number one stock in the S&P.
Yeah.
It rivals Supermicro, but that was the case. We'll get into that. David, I think that this became the zeitgeist. Now, that bothers people because it was a $500 billion company in 2023.
Right.
Then it goes to $3 trillion. No one likes that. I call it a parvenu.
So, given the need for a triple Lindy, are you confident that it can pull it off, that it can get the scores needed to be on the podium?
I think that what you have here is the extension of when Apple's late with a handset.
There's what I was discussing, by the way.
Blackwell is going. They're late with Blackwell.
Bring it back. I want to see that again.
They're late with Blackwell, but that just means you can extend very high margin product. I think that, once again, remember, the two things that Jensen always talks about are accelerated computing and the new industrial revolution. And he's not backing away from that. What has happened, I think, is I went to the racetrack this week. Always a good analysis.
Sorry, you went to the racetrack?
I went to Saratoga. Went to the.
Oh yeah.
You'll see these. Yes, and you'll see. I love the racing form because I was a horse racing junkie after I got out of college. Took a handicap course. What's happened is that you have these horses, and when you look at the lineup, it says pulling away, or going away, or hung, or tired. This one's pulling away. Now, I happen to think that AMD, great company, but the training part is what I keep hearing about. That people write. What happened?
Nothing. We finally got that thing I was referring to a while ago.
Don't be upset about that. People write about NVIDIA, write for NVIDIA. So in other words, when you're the leader, when you're the leader in handsets, everyone writes for Apple. That's why they have all these companies, 2 million companies just from writers. The same thing's happening in NVIDIA. So you have all this information continues to go to the training. And then when you buy their chips, whether you do it through Dell or HPE, you get it. You have all this information already in. Now, we can talk about Salesforce, by the way, because they are one of the people that will tell you that they have the data, then they keep your data, but you still get all the panoply of all the other information.
Well, let's talk Salesforce since we're kind of talked out on NVIDIA a little bit.
Well, that was
not that we won't discuss it for the next 8 hours. 4:20. 4:20.
Yeah, that's the day the world stood still.
No.
Michael Rennie, great actor.
We mean actually 4:20 Eastern.
Yes.
Time is when we're going to get NVIDIA.
But everybody is waiting to see what happens with NVIDIA's results. Those are going to be out after the bell. The stock is up by more than 160% so far this year. That's about 10% off of its all-time high. Investors are going to be looking for any updates on its Blackwell chips, just demand for AI overall. There have been such high bars set for this stock and for this company, and it has jumped over those bars time and time again. The question is, how much demand is still out there for all of these AI chips that NVIDIA basically has the entire market share on? We're going to be talking about NVIDIA with several analysts this morning. I will tell you, Joe, that I actually thought, because I've been on vacation, but because I've been kind of hearing about NVIDIA for so long, because we've been talking about it for so long, I thought they were reporting yesterday. There was so much hoopla about it. I was watching after the bell to see where it was. Like, wait a second, it's not till tonight. But I also have seen some people posit that NVIDIA may be more important what happens today than what Jay Powell said last week in Jackson Hole. So
right.
You'll see.
$3.2 trillion market cap that 5 years ago was, I don't know, well under $1 trillion. It's just been
year to date up 160%.
Something to behold.
Look at the 5-year chart, up more than 3,000%.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right, today is the day. NVIDIA reports earnings for Q2 of fiscal year 2025 today after market close. Consensus estimates for NVIDIA earnings are roughly 64 cents per share, and consensus estimates for revenue are roughly $28.7 billion for the quarter. This represents year-over-year growth of well over 100% for both revenue and EPS. So expectations are very high. We have seen NVIDIA beat estimates substantially in recent quarters, and with that in mind, I think that this time it is reasonable to say that NVIDIA needs to beat on revenue and forward-looking guidance by billions of dollars in order to keep market participants satisfied in the short term. So the bar for today is very high. I'll be honest, I really do think that NVIDIA will report great revenue and earnings this quarter. What it really comes down to, though, is the guidance and the situation regarding Blackwell. If NVIDIA raises next quarter's guidance by $2 billion or more, and at the same time calms market participants' concerns about Blackwell, then I think the stock likely trades higher following earnings. As for Blackwell, NVIDIA needs to calm market participants' fears by either saying that Blackwell is still on track, or if there is a delay, they need to emphasize that there is still very high demand for their current Hopper chips, and that customers are completely fine with purchasing more Hopper chips in the interim as they wait for Blackwell. So those are the two things that I think need to happen in order for the stock to trade substantially higher in the short term. A raise of next quarter's guidance by $2 billion or more, an assurance that everything is fine regarding Blackwell. So now the focus turns to today and what to do ahead of earnings. I'm not a financial advisor, and so I cannot tell you what to do. With that in mind, I will share some of my thought process when it comes to earnings. If you own NVIDIA stock, then I think it is very important for you to have a clear understanding of what type of position you're holding. Is this a long-term investment that you intend to hold for multiple years into the future? Or is this a short-term trade? Once you have a clear answer to that question, it will make the rest of the decision-making process much easier. Personally, if I am invested in a company long-term, then I prefer to hold through earnings. Take some time to digest the results of the earnings report, and as long as the company is still making great progress forward, and there are no significant signs of slowing growth or slowing demand, then I have no reason to sell. It's that simple. On the other hand, if I'm holding a short-term trade, then that is a more complex situation. Of course, I cannot tell you what to do, because I am not a financial advisor. With that being said, here is a thought to consider. This is not a binary situation. You don't have to hold 100% of your position into earnings, and you don't have to sell 100% of your position before earnings. You could break it up just in case if you wanted to do so, and this really depends on your risk tolerance. So that is a thought to consider. And of course, if you need help with your specific situation, then consider reaching out to a certified financial advisor who can help you with your unique circumstance. I don't know what NVIDIA's results will be, and I don't know what will happen in the short term. With that said, I am bullish on the long-term future of NVIDIA as more hyperscalers like Amazon, Microsoft, Meta, Google, Tesla, and more all increase CapEx spending on AI by billions of dollars. These companies simply cannot afford to be late on AI, or else they risk being quickly outpaced by their competition. And for right now, NVIDIA is the undisputable leader in AI chips, and it's not even close. So yes, at some point in the future, growth will likely slow, as this is a recurring trend whenever there is a new technological breakthrough. For now, though, demand is still strong as the largest companies in the world are practically waiting at NVIDIA's doorstep for the latest release of their products. And even if Blackwell is delayed, I would expect NVIDIA to sell more of their current chips in the interim because demand is so great right now, and then guide higher for future quarters in which they expect Blackwell to ship in volume. So I don't know what the market's reaction will be following NVIDIA's earnings today. But from a long-term perspective, I think NVIDIA still has brighter days ahead. At least that's how I see it. With all of that being said, I hope you all have a great day. Remember to stay calm today and do not make any irrational decisions. There may be another video on this channel later tonight after I've had some time to digest NVIDIA's earnings. Please leave a like on this video so more people will see it. And while you're down there, please consider subscribing. It's free, and you can always change your mind. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.